What's up guys, my name is SnyperSama, but you can call me Sniper. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are doing a viewer requested build, and this is actually going to be the start of a newer type of video that I am going to do. Pretty much in my YouTube comments, I get a lot of comments from you guys being like, hey, what about this weapon? What about this build? What do you think about this matching with this? So on and so forth. And to that, most of the time I reply in the comments, basically being like, oh, this is what I think. Oh, this is what I would do. This is how I did it differently. Or I tell you that you guys had a really good idea. But I think what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start taking some of your guys' ideas. I'm going to turn them into videos. I'm still a very, very small creator, but we are in the process of trying to build, especially with the base game being done. So finding other content is proving to be a little more difficult, which is why we have a 2 upload week schedule instead of a 3 upload a week schedule like what we used to, or when it was hot, once a day. I'm a small guy. I work still. I have my own things going on. I'm trying to do YouTube on the side. It ends up being a lot. So viewer requested builds. Depending on what it is that you guys come up with, what it is that you guys may want, if you need to get me more information, you can join the Discord where I will be able to talk to you directly, get an idea of what it is that you are looking for, whether it's me making a build or me trying out one of yours. And then on top of that, you guys get to join the community with a bunch of cool hunters, cool people, and have some fun. But now that I'm done ranting, without further ado, let's get into my viewer requested bow build. This is my God Roll bow build. Basically, this is going to be perfection, okay? This is kind of like a continuation plus a mix of my other series where I created all God Roll, all RNG based builds. This one is kind of like that, but I already had the supplies still, so I was able to make it very, very easily. And the first star of the show is the Calamitous Angel, which is the Gogmazios Rarity 8 Ardian weapon. This rolled with 2 things, and these 2 things are very, very important because, like I said, God Roll, Gogmapocalypse, and Lord Soul. Getting both of those is absolutely crucial. The reason Gogmapocalypse is as crucial as it is because we are going to be playing toward the elemental strengths of the bow. Lord Soul is just going to be the 5% damage increase, which is really, really nice, but it is not a requirement. If you are going for the perfected roll like I was, definitely go for this roll. If you're not, Gogmapocalypse is absolutely killer because this build is going to do a ton of raw damage and a ton of elemental damage, okay? As far as your element type, it's kind of going to be dependent on what you guys want. I will say that this was my Ardian water bow, which had my 5 attack rolls on it, and I attack focused it, which means I got to keep my close range coding. I did not test whether or not a water or fire Ardian bow with close range coding would end up turning into other coding if you were to go with other elements. I just know that if you go for water, you get close range, and if you go for attack focus, you get close range. I didn't end up doing a whole lot of testing. I'm willing to bet though, if you do a water into a fire bow, into a dragon, whatever, with the new Gogma Ardian system, you'll be able to put an attack focus on it, thus giving it the close range coding if that's what you're going for, okay? That's what I recommend. The close range coding is really, really nice for the damage increase, but use it as you see fit. I've made a build in the past that used piercing coding, and it was just as good, okay? For your reinforcement bonuses, attack boost. Because bow does not have capacity, bow does not have sharpness, you literally only have attack boost or affinity that you can get on this weapon. I think. I might be missing one. In fact, I probably am. But in the case of this, you want attack and you want 4 attack with 1 affinity. If you can get that, you're golden. You're golden, truly. So, as far as the armor goes, there's a little bit of an update from my previous bow build, and that's going to be the Arc Vulcan from the Arch-Tempered Arkfeld fight. This stuff is just goated. It's so insanely good because of the skills that you get and the decoration slots that are available to you. Flare level 2, weakness level 5. plus 3 level 1s and a level 2 decoration slot. All really, really nice. Alternatively, if you have not beat Arch-Tempered Argfeld quite yet, maybe you were getting frustrated at the end of the game, you kind of give it up and you haven't been back since, and you're watching this video hoping, I would recommend you pair it with one of these Gogmazio's pieces of gear. Most notably, the Gogmazio's male beta, or yeah, probably male beta and then the coil alpha. I was thinking about the legs because we have powerhouse on here. Powerhouse is something that has to do with offset attacks. We don't do that on the bow, but I would say if you were going to replace the Arc Vulcan gear, the Arch-Tempered Argfeld gear, match it with Gogmapocalypse here with the Scorcher, and the Gogmazio's Coil Alpha with the Burst Boost with Ebony Odogaron. I would just replace one of those two. If you guys have beaten Arch-Tempered Argfeld, I would rock it just like this. We have some crazy, crazy stuff. So for Gogmazio's gear in the chest, waist, and legs, we go Beta, Alpha, Alpha. The reason we're rocking all of these is because if you don't know, Gogmazio's gear gives you different set bonus skills based on which variant it is, alpha or beta. So because these are alpha, the beta ones are different. Because this one's beta, the alpha one is different, and it's going to be like that the entire time. The big thing is just making sure that you have 3 pieces of Gogmazio's gear for Gogmapocalypse Mutual Hostility 2. Mutual Hostility 2 is such a crazy good skill. I love it so much. Not only do you get increased elemental attack when a monster goes in rage, but you're going to get a damage barrier. And if you're playing on the bow already, you know that you don't have less physical damage taken, meaning you're getting hit harder. Much, much harder. You have less elemental damage taken, which is great, but that's for things like when you're on fire. Ooh. For the remainder of the build, I got really, really lucky here. Okay, I have an attack boost charm with Constitution. Constitution is really, really nice on the bow because every one of my dodges takes less stamina. Because it takes less stamina, I'm able to do things a lot easier. Not everybody is going to have this type of charm. So what I recommend what you go for is just an attack boost with the Golden Age charm. The Rarity 8 Golden Age charm is going to give you the level 1 weapon decoration slot, which is all you need. Because you want 4 levels of attack boost, because up here with our weapon, we have all of the skills that we need on the bow. Okay, now, if you do not have the decoration that I have, or you don't have one that has 4 levels of Constitution, whatever, I would recommend you just drop the Steadfast Jewels and the Gobbler Jewel. Because if we were to get rid of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, including our Shockproof, now we have 5 levels of Constitution. And you wouldn't even have to get rid of the Gobbler because we have 1 Physique Jewel here. This would have been 2. This would have been 3. This would have been 4. And then Shockproof would have been 5. You do not need the perfect charm, which is why I recommend you go for the attack boost in the decoration slot. Another attack charm to make sure that your Golden Age charm gives you attack boost 4. Whatever is attached to it doesn't really matter because you can substitute really, really easily. Granted, that does mean you are going to lose out on stun resist, which is nice. You will lose out on the 1 level of Gobbler, or you'll lose out on Shockproof. But if you're not playing with other people, you don't need Shockproof anyways. The rest of these skills are going to be as follows. We have 3 refresh jewels for Stamina Surge. Stamina Surge is just going to make it to where our stamina starts to come back 50% faster, which is really, really nice. Because of the charm that I have, we have Steadfast Jewels. These are going to make it to where we don't have to worry about when we get hit, getting stunned, and getting caught. Gobbler Jewel, which is just going to max out the final level of speed eating that we naturally have from our armor, which is the other reason that I would recommend keeping it. Then we have our Physique Jewel. This one is just going to give us level 5 Constitution. Chain Jewel, Flare Jewel, and a Flawless Jewel. The reason we're rocking Chain and Flare instead of one or the other, this build already comes with Flare level 2, and it already comes with Burst level 2. Meaning we are able to very, very easily put ourselves in a position to where we have Burst level 3 at the midway point where it gets another we'll call it significant power jump. Same with Flare getting another significant power jump, because the difference between 1 and 2 is negligible, but 2 and 3 is decent, and that applies to both Flare and Burst. Okay, last but not least, we have Peak Performance. Peak Performance is not maxed out because we needed to make space for stamina, because we're playing bow. Bow and dual blades are both very stamina heavy weapons, meaning you need to be prioritizing figuring out how to mitigate some of the stamina that you are losing. That way you're not caught completely out of stamina as the monster is diving you. Okay. As far as the weapon goes, we have 3 different types of jewels, and they're all combo decorations. The combo decorations are all going to be paired with Precise, which is ballistics. Ballistics is just going to increase the range at which that your arrows are effective. Basically, it gives you a couple extra feet or meters worth of range to be able to do max damage. Lets you be a little further away without worrying about getting caught. Okay. Then we have Opener. Opening shot is just going to make it to where I read this completely wrong. I don't know why I even had this on my bow now that I think about it. Opener is for light bowguns and bowguns. I'm not 100% sure why this was already on my bow. So what we're going to do is it is going to be a elemental in ballistics. Sorry about that, guys. I had to read that for a second because I was like, opening shot. Wait a minute, that's for bowguns. Yeah, no, we are going to do a elemental with a ballistics. The reason we're rocking elemental with the ballistics is because it's just going to give us more damage. Because the bow is so good at doing elemental damage, it ends up netting itself to be just as good as dual blades. It's just a little more unforgiving in the aspect of you really have to be careful because you don't get to have the extra damage reduction that comes from using a melee weapon, okay? As far as the rest of our actual setups go, we have Tetrad Shot, which is going to increase the affinity and coatings of our fourth and sixth shots once we have gotten to the sixth. I don't know why that was so hard for me to say in my head. Basically, the way it works is first 4 shots, nothing. 4th shot to 6th shot, you get an affinity bonus. From the 6th shot up to the final shot, you get the affinity and an attack bonus. Meaning, Tetrad Shot is really nice at increasing your damage on the way out rather than on the way in. It's back heavy, okay? And then we have Focus. Focus is just going to make it a little bit easier for us to be able to get our tracer shots back and to be able to keep our coatings as active as possible, because the little bar down here that you see in the bottom right of my screen, right above my item bar, you can see the close range coating. If I were to pull my weapon out, you can see that I use a little bit of it. If I were to come over here, put a tracer on, you can see that I lose a little bit more. But every time I fire, I start to get a little bit back, okay? Every time I charge, Every time I charge, I start to get a little bit back. Meaning, Focus is going to make it charge a little bit faster. I haven't made a bow build in a while, and it kind of shows. This is a little scuffed. Well, I guess you guys are going to enjoy the little more authenticity, okay? Overall, this build is really nice because you are able to take a lot of advantage of everything, okay? Not only do we have a decent amount of range to be able to cover all of our bases, but we have Weakness Exploit for the critical boosts increase, or the critical damage increase, Constitution for our stamina mitigation, Peak Performance for when we do have that shield active. We're just going to have damage increase overall. You know, right now we're at 315 raw. Burst, which is going to be really nice for just increasing our damage. Flare, which is going to make it extremely easy to pop wounds. And then Stamina Surge and Stun Resistance, plus Speed Eating, Adrenaline Rush when we hit our dodges, Mutual Hostility, and we have Hasten Recovery, which means we're just going to sit there and heal while we end up fighting, thus proccing Peak Performance all over again. The build's a lot of fun. The build's really good. I really have been enjoying it. With the little bit that I have been playing, I've been playing all kinds of other games, like I said in one of my previous videos, Helldivers, Borderlands 4, Baldur's Gate 3, just kind of a little bit of everything. We're just having fun playing games. But that is going to do it for today's build, guys. Thank you all for coming and watching. Thank you all for hanging out. Don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see all of you in the next one. Farewell.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.